And welcome to the Hot Seat of College Football Show. I am Trent, your host, as today I wanted to talk about Ohio State going into the 2026 to 2027 college football season. Let's talk about it. Alright, so before we get into this video, Before we get into today's video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're at 222. It's a nice number. We're trying to get to 130. Today was a very eventful day for Ohio State. They made their first bid in March Madness since, 22, where they lost to a 15 seed as a 2 seed. They played TCU. I made a couple shorts about it. You guys have probably already seen it, but I'll go over it again. They don't show up in the first half to make this huge comeback to take the lead late. Let TCU come back. There's 30 seconds left. They're letting TCU just stand there, burning out the clock, knowing that TCU is going to run the clock down to 3 seconds, and they are banking on TCU missing a 2-point throw. Why the hell would you ever do that? Why would you ever do that? Play some actual defense. I mean, the Diebler. I'm so tired with the Diebler experiment. I really am. There's nothing left, and I wasn't mad after. I was upset a little. God dang it! But I wasn't upset after the game because it's not. They lost the game they were supposed to win. They lost like after the Iowa game. I was pissed. I was not mad after this game. I knew TCU was going to win. I looked at ESPN stats. I looked at how good TCU was on their rebounds, and I said, "Yep, that's what's going to kill us." I've watched Ohio State all year for most of the year. Rebounds is what's killed Ohio State. I'm like, "Yep, that's what's going to kill us," and that's what killed us. The rebounds, them getting the bunch of points off the rebounds is really what killed Ohio State. Bruce Thornton's final game love him. That's the person I'm most upset about is Bruce Thornton. I don't care, whatever. Byram, love him. Freshman, he's great. Probably going to leave. You got to pay him. They're not going to pay him because Ross Bork. It's not that, we're giving all the money for football. Sorry, no, we're not giving the money to anybody because I'm Ross Bork and I'm a spy agent from the SEC here to take down the Big Ten, which is what he is. I hate Ross Bork. I hate him so much, dude. I'm sorry. You suck. You are so bad at your job that the Michigan head coach, Dusty May, wanted to coach for you. Told him no. Now Michigan's a 1 seed. In basketball, I don't want to mispronounce his last name. Yeah, John Calipari said on a microphone publicly, sorry, bumped through my mic, that he wanted to coach at Ohio State. Well, Diebler said, nah, we're going to hire from within. He goes to Arkansas and he just won the SEC and is a 4 seed. Just won the SEC and just blew out Hawaii. You are so dumb. Oh my God, you're so dumb. I'm not even mad about the basketball. I'm mad at you because you suck at your job so badly. Everything you've ever done at Ohio State has been at its detriment. I can't even remember one positive thing. Oh, the camp song, ass. The towels, these things. Hold on. Here, these are magnets. I can pull these off. So at the Tennessee game, they gave out, I have 2 of them. At the Tennessee game, they gave out 2 of these. This is pathetic. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is pathetic, disgusting ass material. Obviously, I don't know what the Steelers do. So, let me hang this back up. If the Steelers, oh my goodness, now my whole thing's messed up. Here. Maybe I'll just fix this later. I don't know. This is bad. This is bad content. But even this towel is uncomfortable as hell. And not only they don't give this out. They want you to buy this flag. And because they don't give it out, I got this one for free when I went to the Big Ten Championship. Just my section, they gave everyone flags for free. This is uncomfortable. I mean, they're supposed to wave around the game. It's so blocky. It's so big. And they don't pass it out. And they want you to buy this one. They want you to buy the black one for when they do the black uniforms. I mean, it is a huge mistake. I wish we just never did the flags. I wish we never did the flags at this point. I was so excited for them. But I think they have missed the mark so badly on it. What else has he done? He's withheld our money so we don't pay recruits as much and they leave. And in the transfer portal, what else has this guy done? Now he hasn't even done much. He, yeah, I mean, it's one of the things where it's so controversial. I don't even want to blame this on him. We got to start cutting sports. We can't be paying for 32 sport or have 23, 30, whatever, how many sports we have, 26, whatever it is. I mean, it's too much. And the football program and the basketball programs, they are suffering because of it. Like, it's cool that we're 10 consecutive national championships in synchronized swimming, but it's one thing, they're not getting paid. Let them go to schools that care about that sport and that will pay them. So, I mean, I think like the SEC doesn't even play hockey. So it's like, I mean, this is not like a thing where it's like everyone thinks every team in college football plays a sport. No, they don't. That's not how it works. Ohio State is one of the few that does all of them. And I'm so tired of Ross. I'm just so tired of him. And what he did to A&M, like with the buyout thing, I get they got Mike Elko, who's a great coach, but what if that didn't work out? What if Mike Elko didn't work out? They got lucky. He was kind of a risky hire a little bit from coming from Duke. So, I mean, how much did they pay him? What, $100 million or something like that to Jimbo Fisher? I mean, he screwed them over, comes here. I mean, Ross Bjork is an agent from the SEC. They see that the Big Ten has regained power, and they target their head team, Ohio State. They're the best team in the Big Ten. So I want him to be fired, and I mean, obviously, I had my criticisms of Gene Smith because for the whole how he handled 2012. But man, times like this, you miss a guy like him because Ross Bjork is not it. And Ohio State, I knew they were going to lose, and by a last point, either they were going to let TCU score, a Hail Mary play, or we're going to miss one. That's what happened. So, whatever. I don't even know why I started caring about basketball that much. It's just pain. It's just pain, and it's a pastime to get us to football season, which I've been ranting for 7 minutes about this. So let's actually talk about what I wanted to talk about. But Ohio State, coming to the next year, I did a video. You guys should go watch it. It's the video that came out actually earlier this morning about my Big Ten win totals. And I kind of go over my thoughts because Ohio State only had 9.5. Oregon and Indiana had 10.5. And I think the reason why is not because I think Ohio State is worse. It's because of the schedule. I mean, your schedule, at Texas, Illinois, at Iowa, at Indiana, at USC, Oregon, at Nebraska, and Michigan, even Northwestern, at home could be tricky a little bit. So, as an Ohio State fan base, what do we qualify as a successful season? Obviously, if you get 10 wins, double-digit wins in the regular season, and you go to the playoffs, that's a success. Obviously, I would like more than that. Right now, I kind of have Ohio State at that 11-1 range. And right now I have them 11-1 with a loss to USC. That's probably going to change. You're probably like, well, you lost to USC. Look, it's right after Indiana. I think you're going to beat out. Maybe you also lose out on the road at Texas. I think you beat Indiana. You're in a bye week. Ryan Day's teams are always slow after a bye week. I think, and also Oregon's the next week. I think you might lose, especially going all the way to Southern California. So I think USC is going to be really good this year. So I think how the fan base thinks is going to be a successful season. Obviously, you're losing the best defense. You're losing 5 first-round picks. Is obviously playoff berth, maybe Big Ten championship, and then obviously beating Michigan at the end of the year. If you're 9-3 but you beat Michigan, that's not a successful season. And Jeremiah's last year, obviously he needs to win a Heisman. Either him or Julian needs to win a Heisman. This is ridiculous. If you look back at the past years under Ryan Day, let's go band for band. 2019, Chase Young, Justin Fields, Heisman finalists. In 2020, I don't think there was nothing in 2020 because of how short the season was, but I bet Justin Fields would have got back there. In 21, CJ Stroud, and was it just CJ Stroud? I felt like someone else got to New York in 21. I think it was probably just CJ Stroud. In 22, CJ Stroud. In 23, Marvin Harrison Jr. In 24, you didn't have anybody. In 25, you had Julian. And then I guess you can, if you want to count 2018, Dwayne Haskins too, under Ryan Day. which it was Urban, but it was also Ryan Day for the interim, and he was offensive coordinator. So that's 7. Under Ryan Day's watch, he has had 7 Heisman finalists, 0 winners. And, the Stroud one, Stroud should have got it, I think. You could have made a case that Marv should have got it that year. He was probably the best player. And the fact that Jeremiah is not gone, I think Ohio State will probably have 2 Heisman finalists. It's probably going to be Julian and Jeremiah this up and coming year. And, well, I mean, maybe that's the part that hurts is the splitting of votes. But, I mean, just give Jeremiah the award. He's the best player. Can we just give him the award, please? But anyway, I don't think winning a Heisman is going to determine is this going to be a successful season or is this going to be a failure of a season. But you definitely is the Texas game a must-win game? I would probably, it's not a must-win, but you need to win it because if you lose that, then you got to go undefeated against Illinois, at Iowa, at Indiana, USC, Oregon, and Michigan. I guess you can lose one more game because if you're 9-3, maybe you get in depending on where your wins are. If you're 9-3 with a loss to USC, I think USC might finish 9-3 and then they will get in over. And obviously 10-2 and 2 conference losses, you're not going to get in the Big Ten championship. But 10-2 with a loss to Texas and like a loss to Oregon, that's probably getting you in because it's only one loss. I think you're gonna, dude. I'm so excited to talk about when the season comes back because I'm telling you, I think Ohio State's gonna kill Indiana, and everyone's like, "Oh, here comes Josh Hoover, the slant merchant." Which man, you would have loved having Arvell race back this year for the slant. Just boom, kill him coming in a slant, just kill him. But obviously, I think Riley Pettichon's going to be great. He's missing the spring, but I think Payne Pierce, the Christian Allegro, I think they're going to do a great job. So yeah, I don't think the Texas is a must-win game. Illinois, Iowa, must-win games. At Indiana is not a must-win for me. I think it's a must-win. At USC, not a must-win, but I don't want to lose to USC. They don't do this thing where it's like, hey, we're going to be fine. Then we're going to lose to USC. We are going to have a losing streak against Oregon, losing streak against Michigan, like losing streak against the SEC. Like, don't start this thing where it's USC becomes a problem now. So Oregon at home, it's not a must-win game, but I even though you could make an argument that Oregon might be a better team, it's like I don't think Oregon, like, you think they're going to come from Autzen to Columbus? Probably at night, hopefully at night, probably not, but hopefully at night. Like, I don't know. At home, like Ryan Day at home against a team that's not Michigan, I don't know. At Nebraska, must-win game. If you're 9-0 going to the Nebraska game and you lose that game but beat Michigan, you're 11-1. Well, I guess whatever, but Nebraska I was at the Nebraska game in 24 when we won the national championship. I was at that game at home. That was a frustrating game to be at, especially because I was around a shit ton of Nebraska fans. And obviously the Michigan game at the end of the year is a 100% must win. And the fact that Day has 2 road wins against Michigan but 0 home wins is pretty insane. So that's what I think the must wins for the schedule is, obviously making the playoffs. Now that we're in the playoffs, getting the Big Ten championship is not a must. That's if you win the national championship but don't get to the Big Ten championship like you did in 24. Obviously, I don't think you have to get to the Big Ten championship. But in the playoff, I think one thing we can't get bounced 2 years in a row. That's what Georgia did, and Georgia's kind of fallen back to the pack. Can't get bounced 2 years in a row. We're not doing that again. How many do you have to win? Because you got to the quarterfinals, lost. Obviously, you got to get past the first round. You probably have to get past the quarterfinals. If you lose in the semis, like, okay, let's say you're 11-1, and let's say you make the Big Ten championship and win or lose. You're 12-1 or 11-2, and you probably get a bye either way. So you'd be 11-2. Let's say you win a playoff game, or let's say you win 2, like you get to like that 13-2, 12-2 range, and you lose. Let's say like you're 13-3 this year. Is that a successful season? Because Ohio State fans will never say that it actually is, but you're going to kind of have the Trevor Lawrence effect. Trevor Lawrence won a national championship his first year at Clemson. The next year, he lost in the national championship to Joe Burrow and that LSU team. And the next year, lost in the quarterfinals. So he won the national title, lost in the national title, then lost in the semifinals against Ohio State. So it's every year you get worse and worse and worse and worse. If that happens this year for Ohio State, it's like, okay, we've kind of gotten worse the 2 years after the national championship, which like obviously you expect. But I mean, like the production has really gone down, even with an elite Jeremiah Smith and maybe a returning quarterback this year with Julian Sayin, a Heisman finalist, maybe a Heisman winner. And then the year after that, you're losing Patricia's definitely leaving, Arthur Smith is leaving, Julian's leaving, Jeremiah's leaving. Basically, any remnants of that national championship team is gone. Everything is gone except Ryan Day. It's like, I don't know. We've kept getting worse, and now obviously Ohio State doesn't rebuild, it reloads, but it's kind of a rebuilding year. You know what I mean? Like I guess you're gonna have like a returning Chris Henry Jr., but like I don't know. So I think Ohio State, obviously I think you have to get to the semis. I think that's the cutoff. I think you have to get past 12 wins because that's what you had last year. So get to 13 wins, beat Michigan, and get to the semis. I think that is what we can classify as like a successful season, and then hopefully get some awards out of it. But I want to see if there's anything else I want to cover. Maybe not, I don't think I have anything else on the Ohio State side. I think there's a couple more things I just want to rant about. I saw something the other day about Jim Knowles. And Jim Knowles, I do not like Jim Knowles at all. I liked what he did for Ohio State, but I thought his defense was cracked in the biggest moments. Even in the year we won the national championship, we weren't blowing teams out like Texas or Notre Dame. They kept coming back, and like we had in the Texas game, you had the only difference between that Miami game and that Texas game is you had the screen pass before half and the Jack Sawyer play. Like that's it. That's the only difference. I mean, you didn't have a pick six in the Texas game like the Miami game, but here's a photo of Jim Knowles. Obviously, he kind of always, if my thing would focus, sorry, my phone is super greasy, but he always looks like that. I'm like, you won a national championship, went to Penn State, got 6-6, got your ass fired immediately. Terrible defense with a great roster, or we thought was a great roster. And now you're at Tennessee, and he's just going to go down. Remember he said, I'm a Penn State fan. I love being at Penn State. He just goes down and down. And it's kind of like in college. It's like in the College Football 26 when the coaching carousel, where it's like, I wonder where Kirby Smart is 10 years in the first. And he's at Tulsa. We're just going to see him go down. Tennessee's defense is going to be terrible. Because remember, it takes his defense 3 years to get installed. Ryan Day was the only one that made a long-term commitment to him. And he screwed him over. He's going to go down and down. In a couple years, we're going to be like, I wonder where Jim Knowles is at. Where is Jim Knowles at? He is the linebackers coach at Tulsa. Did he win a national championship? Yeah. He did win a national championship at Ohio State. And now he's the linebackers coach at Tulsa, which I think is very funny. Let me see. I think I got one thing. I'm going to make a mock draft coming out soon. I think I'm going to do a Super League video talking about that hypothetical. But I saw a photo on St. Patrick's Day because all the Ohio State accounts posted the 8 times in a row we've beaten Notre Dame. And there was a photo of when Ohio State played Notre Dame back in, I think, the 80s or 90s with Orlando Pace. And I had a question. I said, Orlando Pace is the best. If you haven't watched my Ohio State Mount Rushmore video, you should 100% go watch it. But Orlando Pace, you can make an argument, is the best player in Ohio State history. He was a number 1 overall pick as an offensive lineman. And I'm like, if we put him in the hole at tackle or Oklahoma Joe, whatever, Orlando Pace versus whoever NFL legend, who do you think would win? So I was thinking about it, and I think he's 6'7". Orlando Pace is huge. In the hole, Orlando Pace versus Aaron Donald, who would win? Aaron Donald versus Orlando Pace. who would win in like a one-on-one or like on the edge at tackle? I know Aaron Donald's a defensive tackle, but he can play anywhere on the defensive line. Bro could probably play linebacker. I don't know. You guys let me know. I don't know how much you guys know about like Aaron Donald, but like Ray Lewis, Orlando Pace versus like NFL veteran Orlando Pace versus like prime Orlando Pace versus prime Ray Lewis. Obviously, one's a tackle, a huge tackle. One's a linebacker, so it's a little bit of a mismatch. But who wins? I don't know. I don't know. But Orlando Pace was a monster. And that's kind of just like a hypothetical. It's like in the hole or on a one-on-one like tackle on the edge on a play. Like, who do we think like Orlando Pace could beat like Aaron Donald or a Ray Lewis? You know what I mean? So yeah, let me know in the comments about that. I'm looking back at March Madness, see if anything's been interesting. Duke almost lost to Siena. They were down 43 to 32 at halftime. They won by 6. Ohio State, pathetic. North Carolina is in a battle with 2 minutes left, up 5 against VCU. Michigan's starting to kind of pull away against Howard, but not great. And then Texas is beating 6 seed BYU. Anything tonight, like Illinois, there's not many good games left. Kennesaw State, Gonzaga could be good, and then Idaho, Houston could be good. But yeah, since Ohio State's out, I'm not going to probably... I will probably watch the Final 4, maybe Final 8 of the tournament, but I'm not going to probably watch all these rounds. High Point beating Wisconsin was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. That was a 12 seed beating a 5 seed, which I thought was so funny. But yeah, that's kind of what I have for you guys tonight. It's kind of more of a rant video. I just wanted to kind of, just kind of get some thoughts out. And if you guys like this more, if you like this content more, where it's more of like I have a main topic, but I kind of talk about a bunch of other topics instead of like, here's the thumbnail. It's telling you this one thing. The video is 15 minutes long. It's about this one thing, and that's it. Let me know which type of content you like more. Because I like doing both. Obviously, one, I probably gets more views because it's one topic specifically. And then one's more like, this is more like, almost a generic. No, I'm trying to think the word I'm looking for. More authentic. It's just real. It's more low key. I don't talk about whatever I want, and it's a little bit ranty. It's a little bit more unscripted. So yeah, if you guys like that more, please let me know. But again, that's all I have for you guys tonight. I hope you guys all had a fantastic day. Remember, if you enjoyed today's show, please hit the like button. It helps grow the show and the videos exponentially. And if you also enjoyed the show, if you really enjoyed the show, please hit the subscribe button. We're at 222, trying to get to 230, trying to get to 500 before the beginning of next season. So if you want to help us get there, brick by brick, stone by stone, that would be amazing. But again, that's all I have for you guys tonight. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. And as always,